بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما نريد المشريف هذا اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم صدق الله العظيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. All praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our creator, our sustainer, and durood and blessings be upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created this dunya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created each and every one of us, and our purpose, of course, is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Throughout the day, a person has many responsibilities which he is supposed to do when it comes to his deen, which is performing his salah and being a good person in general. This comes under huququllah, and there is huququl ibad, which is the time we spend around the people that we have in our life. So we have, each and every one of us, we have families, we have people who we are close to, we have friends, we have work colleagues, and people we spend time around. Not only that, then we will meet random people. For example, when you go to the shop, you will deal with the cashier or somebody at customer services, all of these different things. And our whole day is spent in meeting and communicating with other people. Now, our deen is such that it teaches us exactly how to be in every situation. And our dealings with people have to be in a certain way as well. The way we present ourselves, the way we speak to others, and just in general, what kind of a person that we are. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this deen to implement it and to bring it into our life. The whole purpose of being a Muslim and following the deen is the teachings that we have to apply it into our lives. It's not just how much do you know, but with what you know, what are you doing with it as well? And this is the most important thing, about our meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the Day of Judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will question us about what did you do with the knowledge that you had. So the first part is actually having and knowing the knowledge. So today we'll go through a few etiquettes of how our dealings with people should be. First of all, and the best one of all, is parents, and how a person should be with their parents. We have spoken about this many times. And boys, Seth, so many times. How we should be with our parents, but it's just a reminder. Nobody is being picked on, and we'll do both sides as well, Seth. So, parents, of course, as children, we have to respect our parents. Speak to them in a kind manner, in a respectful manner, and in a way where we can see that they are the parent and the child is the child. And so many things come under this. The way a person presents themselves. So, when speaking to parents, and both ways, we'll do it both ways. Speaking to parents and when parents are speaking to children, there has to be respect from both sides. And the way we interact has a huge effect on whether the point comes across or whether it doesn't. So both times, both ways, it should always be that we speak in a respectful manner, in a respectful tone, and facial expressions, they play a huge part within it as well. That if a person from his face is always angry, then it will not have the desired effect on what needs to be done. So having an angry face all the time, then it becomes this is his normal face, or this is my dad's normal face, this is my mom's normal face, so it doesn't really matter. So they get used to it. So getting angry at every small little thing is not the correct way. So there has to be some boundaries which have to be set. What is allowed within the household, what is not allowed within the household. And it's not just for the children to follow, the parents have to follow those same rules as well when it comes to certain things. So when there is a general consensus about what should be done and what shouldn't be done, this helps a lot for the people to understand, okay, what needs to be done. So this is the first thing. Secondly is, children were not born knowing everything in the world. Whatever we teach them is what they will implement and bring into their life. If we don't teach them anything, and if they are going to school every day, they're going to learn so many things from school, and they're going to come back home, and they're going to do those things unless we speak to them about it beforehand, or when nothing happens, we tell them up about it. That this is not the correct way, or this is the way it should be done. So when it comes to something which is done wrong, we take our children to the side and we speak to them in a nice way and ask their side of it first. What did you do? And why did you do it? So this is where, if we make sure that that explanation and that understanding is there, it will make things much easier. So you speak, for example, if a child swears, the first time you hear them swearing, said something that they're not supposed to. Of course, the natural reaction would to give them a big smack, send them to the next planet. But this is not the teaching of our deen. Muhammad did not say beat up your kids. But, so the way to do it is we speak to them and we ask, okay, what have you just said? Why did you say what you said? Then we explain our deeni part. Did you get any reward there for swearing? Or did you get sin for swearing? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this tongue. It is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so we have to use it in the correct way. By using it in the correct way, we will get reward. By using it in the incorrect way, is going to bring the displeasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the way that we begin. Of course, if it continues again and again, that's when you can be more extreme in whatever needs to be done. And of course, that is according to you. And leave it to yourself. But the main thing is communication. We speak to our children about what needs to be done, and we explain to them in a way where they can understand. Because nowadays children, they have a lot of questions, and myself, I am from the generation where if I had a question and if there was a problem with something, I would ask the elder, my parents or somebody, that why is it like this? The answer was given just because it is. Just because it is and because I told you so. But nowadays kids, if we give them that answer, they will go and they will search on Google and they will find some kind of answer, and who knows what it will say. So that's why it's best that we give them the upbringing that we should be doing and that we can be doing. Recently a survey was taken of how much time children actually spend with their parents on average. So this is one-to-one time just between a parent and a child, and not taking into, so this is just with no technology, nothing, just one-to-one. And the survey came out that an average of 35 minutes a day is how much a parent actually spends time with their child, one-to-one. So imagine we have them living with us all the time, and this is the only time that they actually have 35 minutes a day where you actually sit with your parents, where you sit with your children, and you actually have a conversation with them. So imagine all day they're spending in school, later on they go to other classes and they have other activities, and by that time, lunch, dinner, and gone to sleep. So there are many who don't even have that time. So this is where, as parents, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a responsibility as well, that we spend time with them. If we are not going to bring them up, then it will be the society that brings them up, the school that they go to, or all the friends that they have. These are the things. So we have a responsibility upon us, and we make sure that we do everything possible to have an influence and an effect in the lives of our children. And this is the way it can be done. By having have moments during the day where you have your family time, where you sit and you eat your food together, where you put everything to the side and you speak to one another, enjoy having and spending time with one another. This is a very important thing which Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam would do. It is a sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well, to spend time with each other. Can I ask us everybody to move forward and fill in the gaps so that there's space for everybody that's coming in. So this is one of the things which we can do. The best teachings that we have are of course from the mouth of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so this was just parents and children, but there's, like I mentioned at the start, there's so many different relations that we have with people throughout our day. A husband and a wife. The most important thing between a husband and a wife is communication. To speak to one another, to connect, and to be in a way where we ask and we make sure that we are always on the same page with everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created insan, Allah created man and woman. Man and woman are not supposed to think in the exact same way. They have different ways of thinking. They have been created in a certain way, but it is up to us to always understand and do those things which are going to bring a person close together. So what can happen is when there is not that communication there, then there can be arguments and there can be discussions which do not go right. And when those things happen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, through the teachings of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, given us ways and methods of getting around it. That the biggest thing which we have an issue with is because that communication is not there, the argument is not there, so the argument is there, so people don't speak to one another. And the way that this causes trouble is people are not careful with what they say. The tongue, it can be either a way to connect people or to break relations. And this is the most important thing that we understand. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this tongue and we have to use it in a way. Rasulullah mentioned in the hadith, Al-Muslimu man salim al-Muslimuna min lisanihi wa yadi. That a true Muslim is the one who saves other Muslims from his tongue and his hands. That he does not cause any hurt, she does not cause any hurt or difficulty or trouble to the person through their tongue. When a person says something which is not good, there's no way that they can take that back. The glass, when it's dropped, it's smashed, it can never be that same glass again. So when these things happen, to be very careful, to control our anger. And the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has taught us many different ways of controlling anger as well. That to step away from that gathering where a person is angry. Sometimes when a person is in the rage of anger, they're not able to control themselves. They'll start saying things which later on they regret. And that's why Nabi said, move away from that area. Move away, calm yourself down, and then think about everything, and then speak to the person. To have a glass of water, to recite A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. Nabi has taught that when you become angry, recite A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. That even in the times of anger, we should be thinking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That shaitan is trying to get the better of us, but we have to control ourselves. Recite A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. If a person is standing, to sit down. If a person is sitting down, to lie down. That all of these things have to be taken into consideration when these moments happen. And the hardest thing is to put these things into practice at that moment. When you're so angry, all you're thinking about is wanting to get one over another person. And this is where the control has to be there. That we have to try our best to understand that only harm is going to come from this. No benefit will come from the arguing and the fighting and all of the problems. So dealing with people every single day and being with them every single day, we have to make sure that we do it in the correct way. The way Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did. And this can only be done when we try our best to control ourselves. When we know exactly what is going on and why is going on. And we think about everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. And one way to improve our relationships with people, one way to make everything better is think of the good qualities that people have. Think of the goodness which is in them. We are very quick to point out always, this person has this thing wrong with them, and this wrong with them, and this wrong with them. Instead, look for the goodness within that person. These are the good qualities that they have. This is the good thing, this is the good thing. And when we do that, then in our heart we will feel better about that person. Not only that, when we are away from them, in their absence, to make dua for them. Make dua for them, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make things easy for them. May Allah make it, to make the relationship and the bond stronger with a person. So the more we do these kind of things, the better it will be for us. And of course it is only going to benefit us in the long way. Because so many relationships are broken, so many friends are no longer friends, so many brothers don't talk amongst themselves, so many sisters don't talk among themselves. And the biggest reason is because there was a miscommunication. Because it wasn't spoken directly. Or what it was, that one is too stubborn. Why should I go and apologize? She wronged me, or he wronged me. And this is where Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam taught us many different things, that the one who is able to stamp on their pride, they will be the ones who will be able to be more successful than the one who keeps all of the bad feelings within themselves for no reason whatsoever. And these things, they are very trivial. They can very easily be fixed. And all it takes is one, I am sorry. All it takes is, please forgive me, I know I made a mistake. So to be able to speak up and to understand, yes, I made a mistake. This is the first thing. If a person wants to improve themselves, all we have to do is say, I'm sorry. and this is the way that a person is able to improve. So if we have these ideas from the start, if we have the intentions, some people, they're always out looking for arguments. There's that side as well. Those that want to cause trouble, those that want to cause difficulty. There is nothing which shows that we have to keep a relationship with them. Our deen is such that if you know somebody has toxic behavior, somebody who wants to cause difficulty, someone who wants to cause trouble, we don't have to keep that relationship with them. Yes, when we see them, we give them salam, and we should still want good for them, but there's nothing saying that you have to be best friends with every single person, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created people in different ways. We just always have to make sure that within our circle, we are not causing any trouble to anyone. If we cause any trouble to anyone, straight away we put our hand up and we apologize when we ask forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the understanding to act upon these things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala improve our relationships with people. It's the most thing. Ameen. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to get rid of any difficulty, any jealousy, any envy that we have in our heart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to act upon these things. Ameen wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.